I'm going to bring you through a morning ritual that my husband and I do. I'm in a practice of studying Qigong with a master out of Vietnam. He's been in the study of Qigong for about 40 years, and I've been training with him for the last year. And this is the morning routine that we do to wake up our organs and to wake up all the channels of the meridians of our body. The meridians are like river flows that come through our body. And sometimes they get blocked up with emotion, with blocked energy, with soreness from sports or soreness from typing like this all day on computers. So I'm taking you this morning through this routine for the reason that our group of women in Embody this week are working on our stories and sharing them for the first time, the deep challenges that we've had in life that have created who we are. And yesterday in my pod, I realized that this was really important to carry on the work for us this week as a sisterhood, because it will help us to release the fashion out of the that this was really important to carry on the work for us this week as a sisterhood, because it will help us to really. So anyway, it'll take us into our bodies. It will take us into where we've stored the stories in our fascia, in our organs, etc. So without further ado, let's take it into Qigong. So it'll take us into our bodies. It will take us into where we've stored the stories in our fascia, in our organs, etc. So without further ado, let's take it into Qigong. So it'll take us into our bodies. Take us into where we've stored the stories in our fascia, in our organs, etc. So without further ado, let's take it into Qigong. So I would like you to stand tall. I'd like you to step in with your feet shoulder width apart. And you're going to have your balance between the balls of your toes and your heels. Just take a moment to just feel your feet on the earth. Feel the toes, about 10% energy and weight into the toes. And then you're going to take a deep inhale from your belly, and you're going to bring that down and drop your ankles on top of your heels. And with another inhale and exhale, you're going to put your knees right on top of your ankles. And then you're going to set your hips on top of your knees so that we feel like we have a nice, strong alignment and balanced foundation. We've got a soft knee. It's not a bent knee, but just soft. And then we're going to take a deep inhale up through our belly, up into our chest. And then we're going to roll our shoulders back, and we're going to drop those shoulders right on top of our hips. With the next inhale, we inhale up, we connect with our center up above, and like we're pulling a string up to heaven and taking information from heaven, we're elongating the head and neck. We're dropping our chin slightly, and we're just relaxing into this pose. And as we do that, we're going to connect with our three energy centers. They're called the Dantian in Qigong. So the Dantian, we have the lower Dantian, we have the middle Dantian, and we have the upper Dantian. So it's our stomach, our heart center, and our crown. And we're going to take our hands down into the lower Dantian. We're going to clasp our hands, right hand for women, right hand onto belly with left hand on top. Just take a moment, and I'd like you to take 3 deep inhales into that belly. 3 deep, deep, deep inhales. Go in within, connecting with your breath, connecting with this energy center. 1 more inhale. And now I'd like you to take that breath and take it from the belly up to your chest and up into your throat. And I want you to exhale by blowing through a straw, like you've got a sippy straw from a soda pop, and you're going to blow out. And it's a way that we take the toxins from yesterday and toxins from last night and toxic thoughts from the past out. So we're going to inhale up into the chest, up into that straw, and we're going to exhale and just think of everything you want to let go when you exhale through this straw. Taking another inhale, the straws are really pursed lips, inhaling and blowing out and letting go the toxins of the last yesteryear. And one last inhale and exhale. And releasing yesterday. And then we'll come back and we'll start to shake it out. We're just going to shake out our bodies, loosen them up. We're going to hit our heels on the ground. We're shaking our hands. We're shaking our arms. We're shaking our hips. We're just letting everything loosely shake out. But we want to make sure we're going up and down on our heels and getting that slam into the earth. The slam sort of operates the Kundalini at our root center. It starts getting all that stagnation out in our first three chakras, first, second, and third, lower triangle. And we're just moving. Shaking up. Lifting our hands up. Shaking our heads, just going for it. Shaking it all over. And then going really fast and getting your butt going and getting everything really moving. And then we take a deep inhale. And then we're going to bring our hands down. And we're going to find that chi energy. We're going to find a little ball of energy right here at the lower dantian, at the lower energy center. Just taking a moment to play with that energy and seeing how it comes out of your hands, seeing how it expands with an inhale, deflates with an exhale, inhaling and exhaling. And then we're going to take that energy and we're going to place it right into the lower dantian the same way with our hands. Bringing that energy is the potential for our workout today. And for the potential for our day, for our energy, for our thoughts. And then we're going to bring our hands down. We're going to go into the 3 heavenly pillars. Just loosening our body, feeling the wave of our body and our energy going. We're going to exhale. And we're going to drop down and lower our arms. They're going to rotate in. We're wringing out the channels in our arms, and we come up with an exhale. We come up, we expand, and we open our hearts up and out. And we rotate our arms out to the sides, wringing them out. And then we go drop back down, down. And then we inhale, and we open up. And then we exhale down. We inhale and we open up. And we exhale down. And then we'll step into the second of the heavenly pillars. We're going to take our left hand and pinch it like we look like a little rattlesnake tail. It looks like a little rattlesnake tail, and it's going to hang down. We're going to have a loose arm. That's going to hang down here and pointing in. We're going to have a long arm on the right arm, but our palm is going to be facing out. Flattest palm you can make. Strong, flat palm. We're in that nice stand with our feet shoulder width apart, and we just come over to the left. So we're keeping erect, and we're just dropping the head to the left with an exhale. Then we inhale up, and we exhale to the other side. Inhaling up, exhaling back to the left. Now, it was my mistake at first, sorry. When we come up and we inhale, when we go over to the other side, we're going to pinch the opposite side and bring the palms out. So it looks like inhaling like this, exhaling like this, inhaling, exhaling. So it's a little fashion that we do. Inhaling up and exhaling over. pinching with the left, extending with the right. Inhaling up, exhaling, pinching with the right, extending with the left. And inhaling up, exhaling left. Inhaling up, exhaling right. And then we come back to center because we've just worked on opening up all the rivers and flows in our arms and our neck, all the different channels. We're just stretching and elongating them. We're wringing them out. And then we go into the last of the heavenly pillars, which looks like this. We inhale. And as we exhale, we twist it around to the right and we're wringing our arms out. So we're bringing them out. So the palm comes up, the other palm twists. So it's a deep twist. And then we come back to center with an inhale and we exhale over to the other side. Inhaling to center, deep breath, and exhaling to the other side. Inhaling to the center, exhaling to the other side. We're working on our kidneys, wringing our kidneys out. We're wringing our spleen out on this side. And then we're also, when we come to this side, we're wringing out our liver and our gallbladder. We're squeezing them, and then we're letting them go and letting all the energy and all the old stories out. And then we come back to center. Just take a moment and notice. Notice as the vibrations start to flow in through your body, as these rivers start to open up. Maybe even noticing where you have blocks, where something's not gelling quite right, and just keeping an eye on that as we go further through our forms this morning. And then we're going to take our hands, we're going to clap them and clasp them here. And we're going to warm them up and we're going to place them right back here on our kidneys. And then we're going to go into the spiral circles that will start out very small. Our feet are close in together and we're going to just start rocking our hips and our knees. And we're going to start spiraling out. Working on the kidneys. And when we get to our furthest spiral out, we'll start taking it back in. Going back into a small little circle. Thinking of the sacred geometry of a spiral. One of nature's great gifts is that spiral energy. Always growing, always expanding, or spiraling back in and contracting when needed. And then we come back to center and we rock it the other way. Feeling the energy flow. Opening up our hips, opening up our waist. All the way out to fullest expansion. And then we come back in. And then we come back to center. And again, just taking a moment to notice. And then I'd like you to step out with your feet shoulder width apart, and you're going to lean into your left side. So you're going to do a lean, like a shock absorption lean into the left side. You're going to bring up your right leg. So you're standing here in this shock absorption position, and you're going to rebound up and out, and we're going to go into what is called horse stance. So it looks like you're riding a horse, your feet are perpendicular, they're straight forward, they're not at an angle or a 45-degree angle, they're straight forward, and you're in this position, and now you're going to straighten out your legs. So you're in a triangle, and you're going to play with that chi ball that we played with earlier. We've got this ball of energy that sits right here in our whole power center. Power center is women, where our voice comes from, where the deep earthiness of our voice can come from and bring out the truth of what we need to speak and share with the world, which is what we're all working on, right? And now you're going to start to rock your hips, and you're going to take that ball and you're going to start lowering yourself and get your shoulders in play, but keep the energy and the roundness of the ball as you drop yourself down. Going all the way to the ground if you can. If you cannot, going to where you can. If this is as far as you can go, then taking a moment and imagining that you can have those hands down to the ground, feeling your body get there, even if at the moment that's not possible. Just playing in the potential of the idea that you can get all the way to the ground. When you come all the way to the ground, take yourself over to the left and do a nice stretch out to the left. We're working on our bladder meridians, working on the bladder and the kidneys right now. We've just worked on rounding out the kidneys and the circles, and now we're coming with the bladder and connecting the dots there. Getting all the water flow going in our body right now. Then we'll take it over to the right, still keeping this ball. And then we come back to center with that ball, and you can lightly bend your knees to get yourself up, working with your core center to get back up. And here we're in this ball. And now we're going to lean into that leg that we pushed out. So we're rebounding in and we're popping back up to be in the center position here. And again, just noticing the energy within your hands from this chi, noticing the chi playing around yourself, this chi, this beautiful prana. For those who are yoginis, same thing, prana, chi, as it fills your whole energy field for the morning. And then we are going to take our hands up, and we're going to do like we did in the last pose. We want a flat palm, so we're really opening the meridians, the rivers of the arms. We want a flat palm. It's coming up to the sky. We're reaching up, flat palm toward the ceiling. We're looking up, and then we're coming down. Our feet are shoulder width apart, and we're coming down in a tabletop. Now, if you have any issues with your lower back, slightly bend your knees, but you come into a tabletop and your head, your hands, and your back are flat. When you get to that flat position, you can curl down, drop yourself. You're going to cross your arms down and let your head hang here. You're letting your head hang, pulling out the spine, elongating the spine for a moment, just taking your images into the spine and feeling every little vertebrae separate a little and give itself a little more space. Down in your coccyx, feeling that all open up and expand in your back body. So we're hanging here. And then as we come up, we're going to take our hands and we're going to brush all the way up the front of our body. We're going to touch our legs, touch our body, bringing everything up, bringing this chi up from the earth. And we're going to take it back up towards the sky. And then we press ourselves back out, back down, back body, flat like a table. When we get to full flatness, we drop our head and neck and hands, and we cross our arms and we hang over. And with an inhale, we brush up our body. Up. And then bring that energy down from that stretch and bring it right into the lower dantian to store for the future for today. Our next move is going to be what are called diamond circles. We're going to work on the strengthening our lower back, strengthening our core, strengthening our stance so that we can be flexible, but we also have this strong foundation of rebounding. So once again, we're going to lean into that left leg. We're going to lead into the rebound. We're going to take our right leg and we're going back into this horse stance once again. So our knees are bent. We're letting our tailbone hang down. We're not tucking it in and tucking it under. So we don't want to look like this. We want it just to hang down straight. Okay? And then we're going to take our hands and we're going to make a diamond shaped. So a diamond shape like this. We're going to take a diamond shape. We're going to be in a squat as deep as you can handle. It's great, whatever you want to do there. We're going to take a diamond shape and we're going to arch our back. We're going to squeeze our buttocks, squeeze our lower back, supporting our lower back. We're going to arch back and we're going to start over to the right. As we get to the right, we straighten our legs. We straighten our legs and we come down and we follow that diamond down through the front of our body with long arms, following the diamond up to the left. As we get to the left, we go into that squat again. We squeeze our buttocks, we squeeze our lower back, we come up and we do our arch and we follow the diamond through the sky and we bring it back down. Straight legs again. Now we're in a triangle. We've got a triangle within a triangle, our lower triangle that we're standing in and our triangle arms. And then we squat, we squeeze in horse pose, we come back to center. When we get to center, we're going left and we're going back the other way. Down through, taking the triangle down with straight legs. Once again, squeezing our buttocks, making sure we're strong in our lower back, that we're using our core. Coming back around, watching the diamond in the sky. Dropping back down, bringing the diamond to earth. Coming back up. And when we get to center, taking a moment, we're going to lean into that right leg that we sent out. We've got it in the shock absorption move, and we're going to press off to bring ourselves back to center. And then take that energy that we have from the sky and the diamond and bring it back down and store it again for our future energy. And just take a moment to notice, where are you with all of this? Did anything just open up? Do you feel a shortness of breath? Do you need to just take a moment to yourself? Do you need to catch up? Do you see what might have opened, what's been closed? Just feeling into your body. Tuning in. And now we're going to take the left leg and we're going to step it slightly behind us. Let me get so you can see a little better here. We're going to step it slightly behind us, and the right foot is going to come out, and it's going to be a long leg with our foot arched up. So our weight is here on the back leg. 80% of our weight's on the back leg, or 90, and there's a little bit of a balance on the front. And we're going to bring our hands up to the sky, and we're going to bring that sky chi down through the entire core of the body, and we're going to bring it forward, and we're bringing it down the front body in a channel, and we're going to reach for a point right at the arch of our foot, which is a point for the bladder meridian. So it's right here in the arch of our foot. The point is right there. Sorry about my dirty Mexican feet. It's a little dusty here. But we're down here, we're reaching. If you cannot reach, if this is as far as you can go, so be it. Again, have the intention that your energy and your hands are going into that foot. So we stay right here, we feel the stretch, and we have that intention that we're making it down to that point. And now as we come up, like we did before, we're going to bring our hands on the outside of both legs to awaken those channels. We're coming back up. We drop the front foot for a second with a full extension. And then as we come back down, we raise the front toes back up into an arch, elongating the back of our leg. We come down, we work the meridians of the back leg, the bladder meridian down here to the point. And then again, we bring ourselves back up, channeling up to the sky, and now we're going to switch feet. So the right foot goes back, 90% of the weight goes on the right foot. The left foot comes forward with its toes arched up. We're elongated, but we're very strong. We're very strong. We're not in imbalance. We're in balance and strength at this moment, as well as flexibility for stretching. So we're coming down. Whoosh, right through. And we hit that bladder meridian, waking it up. And we inhale up. And we come back down. Pressing that meridian. Again, if you can't make it and you're right here, awesome. Awesome. Look at all the potential we have to get somewhere. We've got goals. We've got goals. And then filling that energy up. We drop that front foot. We come up. And once again, we bring that beautiful heavenly energy, the heavenly chi. It's a brilliant violet light. We bring all that energy to store as potential right here in our center, our will center. And next, we're going to go in and we're going to work on a lot of the organs around the waist. So over here, we've got on the right-hand side, we've got our liver and our gallbladder. On the left-hand side, we have our spleen. We've got our diaphragm that's working in here. We've got stomach, digestive, and this is a stretch for all of that. It's a stretch also for the kidneys. And our purpose is to we're going to open and squeeze these organs. So once they squeeze, all the energy, all the blood goes out of them. And then all of a sudden, when we move, that energy pops back open. And that's where the release comes of old stories and old garboo. So one of the things that happens in the kidneys is a place where we store fear. What happens in the liver is a place where we store anger. In the spleen is where we store worry. And let's say when we store this is based upon Taoist philosophy, the philosophy of Taoist medical Qigong. And so we can take it all from an Eastern perspective, but that's where we store our worry. In our heart, we store joy, but over anxious joy, like the joy of desiring, I want, I want, I want, I want. And let's see, last one, lungs. In our lungs, we store grief. So we can transmute all that with these exercises. We can transmute that into potential because we let go of the old story. Suddenly there's all this energy. That energy gets gathered up, it's brought here, and then our power center becomes stronger. So let's take ourselves into this exercise. We're going to clasp our hands like this. We're going to push them out. We're going to bring them up. Our feet are shoulder width apart. We're looking up towards the sky, making sure we're nice and elongated, and then we're going to lift off our toes and we're going to balance on the balls of our feet. If you have any issues with any of that, you can keep your feet flat, but our purpose is to strengthen the arches of our feet, strengthening our rebound and landing abilities. And then with a deep, we're inhaling here, we're exhaling and we're rotating over. Now I know a lot of you know this from yoga, but we're rotating over. Now what we've just done on the right-hand side is we've squished the liver and gallbladder. We're wringing them out and we're elongating the spleen. We're elongating the left side of the body, and we're going to look up. And then we're going to come back to center. We're going back up on our toes. We're coming back down, and then we go over to the left-hand side. Now we're elongating the gallbladder and liver, and we're squeezing the spleen. And we look up, twisting slightly to the right. We come back to center. We come up on our toes, and then we come down. We'll go through that one more time. This time we're reclasping our hands in the other direction. So if we had them like this, we're just going like this, so that we also work the meridians on our hands, and we also stretch out our hands from typist hands from all our computer life. So we go up on our toes, and then we come over here with an exhale. We arch over to the right, we're elongated, we're stretching out, and we're curving over, and we look up slightly, squeezing the spleen, opening the liver. Inhaling up on our toes, exhaling, and we come over to the right, looking up. And then we bring ourselves back to center, gathering again all that energy and storing it in the lower dantian. And now we're going to take ourselves, after we have a little moment to feel and sense, when we start to open all this up. I know a lot of you are yoginis and you're all wide open, but sometimes when we have been sitting too long, or maybe not as mobile as we once were, or we've had issues with that, then when we start to open all this up, you're going to start to feel today, you might burst into tears and not know why. What that is the energy just releasing from the organs. And, just let it out. Because with it comes the story, and a lot of times the story doesn't even show up for you. It just shows up as tears, which is a beautiful exhalation of that energy, old, useless energy. So with that, we're going to go now into the idea of an animal. We have in Qigong, we use animals as forms, and that came from the ancient Qigong masters that were living, ancient yogi masters, Taoist masters that were living in the Himalayas. They observed animals in motion and in rest, and they started to take on their forms and take on the way they moved, and then they started to see how their bodies changed based upon watching nature and watching animals. So this one's called Eagle Spreading Its Wings. So you're going to go into the right-hand side here like we did for that one move. We're going to lean into the right-hand side. We've got our leg down. We're balanced on it. We're strong. We're going to take the left leg behind, and we're going to, let me see, I want to make sure you can see my feet. So the right leg's strong. The left leg comes behind you at an angle. You're going to take your right hand back, press it on the kidneys, and then you're going to take your left arm up, and you're going to look like this, looking up towards that upper wing. So that's what that side looks like, the same with the other. So let's do that together now that you've seen how the feet look. So this is what it looks like. We're going to bend into the right. We're going to bring the left hand down. Our wings come out. We take our right hand to our kidneys and we press up. We've got 90% of our weight on the right leg. It's bent and we're up in flight. Bring yourself into the spirit of an eagle soaring. And now we drop over to the right. Take the shock absorption into that. Shock absorption into that. We put our left hand on our kidney and we come up with our right. And we fly. Again, we're wringing out and stretching out the organs in the midsection of our body. Up. Out. Fly. And again, one last time. Up. And then we come back down to center. And we land, bringing all that energy to store in our lower dantian. And our last form for today is a heart opener. This works on heart and lungs. And it looks like this. Let me show it to you first. It looks like this. We're going to bring our hands up. We're bringing them into an offering pose here, like we're offering to the goddess. And then I'm going to go sideways here so you can see me. We're bent knee, we're strong. Now we're going to squeeze our buttocks and we're going to open up. Our feet are together. We're opening up to the sky. And then we swing back down. We cross our arms over. We're going up on our toes. So we're in a weird forward rocking kind of, we're not rocking, but we're forward like we could fall off a cliff, but we're on our toes. And then we drop the chi, and we come back up. So let's do that together. So our feet are together. We're bringing our hands up. We're in offering. We're offering our hearts to the sky. We come out, we've squeezed our buttocks, our knees are slightly bent. We open up to the sky, we arch out. And then we swing our wings back in, we cross them, we come up on our toes, and now we're hanging over the precipice. And then we drop the dirty chi out into the universe, and we swing back up and ask for more of the sun. And we come back down. We cross our arms over in the opposite direction we did before, hanging over the precipice. And drop the dirty chi. We come up. We bring our hands into prayer, into that same offering. And now in this moment, because of what we're all working on with ourselves, let's put everything out there that no longer serves us. Let's put that all in the little bowl. And we're going to take an inhale. And when we exhale, we're going to slap that chi out on our legs. And we're just going to fly free because we've let it go. And then we're going to bring all that chi in. This was the last move. We're going to bring all that chi in down through the crown. Think of a violet light coming down, bringing all that energy. Bringing it all the way into our lower dantian. And just notice. I want you to put your feet at shoulder width apart. We're going back to the first move we were in. And this is our standing meditation. It's called Zhang. Eyes closed, fully absorbed in self. Our hands are at our lower dantian, right hand in close, left hand on top. And you're going to take your one thumb of your left hand, you're going to place that in your palm, and your right hand is going to pinch at that little soft spot between your thumb and your forefinger. So it looks like this, looks like that. And that's going on your dantian because that keeps the circulation of the energy flowing all through your body and all through into the lower dantian. So going into meditation, inhaling deeply into the lower dantian, up into the middle and up into the crown, and exhaling. Again, we step in to our weight distribution on our feet, checking on the balls of our feet, checking on the heels. And then we stack the ankles over the heels. We stack the knees over the ankles. We stack the hips over the knees. So we're building like we're building scaffolding. We inhale deeply and we roll our shoulders back and stack them over our hips. And then we inhale into the crown and we extend that line of the crown, pulling up like a marionette, up towards the sky, towards the heavens. And we drop our chin slightly. Eyes closed, going within. With this next inhale, we bring the energy from our belly all the way up to the crown. And we feel a beautiful violet energy wash from heaven down through our scalp. Just loosening and easing our scalp, our head, our brain. We inhale into our face. We watch that melt down with that beautiful violet energy. We breathe into our throat chakra and we let the violet energy open it and release it so that our voices are heard. And we let that energy wash through our shoulders and down on our arms, our elbows, our wrists, our fingers, and let it evaporate out. Sorry, let it go into the dantian. And then we breathe into our chest, into our back body, that beautiful violet energy. Let it wash over us. And then we breathe a beautiful red energy, red light, straight into our heart center, into our heart and pericardium. Feeling our heart expand, and then with the exhale, releasing. And then in our midsection to all those organs we've just worked hard, We bring a beautiful white light throughout all our organs, feeling it washing all our organs clean of all the old stories and letting that release. And then we breathe the violet energy from our hips, through our buttocks, through our lower back, down our legs, down our knees, down our feet, and down into the earth, the great Gaia, Pachamama. And then we inhale a beautiful violet energy up from the Pachamama, up through our central channel, and up into the lower Dantian. And our last breath comes from above. We breathe up through our crown, and we're bringing heaven down to meet earth in our middle section and our lower Dantian. We bring that beautiful violet energy down through the central channel, watching it fill our Sushumna, for those who are yogis, central channel. We bring that in to meet the earth energy in this lower Dantian. And as it combines with your next inhale, feeling it turn into a beautiful pink pearl, an expansive, flowing, circulating pink pearl. And with the exhale, we compact that pearl as all our potential energy and light into the lower Dantian. And I'm going to read a passage for you just to finish up. We have 2 more minutes. While you're focusing with your eyes closed on your lower Dantian, I'm going to read a piece on forgiveness, since we're all working on old stories right now. And our forgiveness. How do we forgive those who have offended us? One day the sage gave the disciple an empty sack and a basket of potatoes. Think of all the people who have done or said something against you in the recent past, especially those you cannot forgive. For each of them, inscribe the name on a potato and put it into the sack. The disciple came up with quite a few names, and soon his sack was heavy with potatoes. Carry the sack with you wherever you go for a week, said the sage. We'll talk after that. At first, the disciple thought nothing of it. Carrying the sack was not particularly difficult, but after a while it became more of a burden. It sometimes got in the way, and it seemed to require more effort to carry as time went on, even though its weight remained the same. After a few days, the sack began to stink. The carved potatoes gave off a ripe odor. Not only were they increasingly inconvenient to carry around, they were also becoming rather unpleasant. Finally, the week was over. The sage summoned the disciple. Any thoughts about all this? Yes, master, the disciple replied. When we are unable to forgive others, we carry negative feelings with us everywhere, much like these potatoes. That negativity becomes a burden to us, and after a while it festers. Yes, that is exactly what happens when one holds a grudge. So how can we lighten the load? We must strive to forgive. Forgiving someone is the equivalent of removing the corresponding potato from the sack. How many of your transgressors are you able to forgive? I've thought about it quite a bit, master, the disciple said. It required much effort, but I have decided to forgive all of them. Very well, we can remove all the potatoes. Were there any more people who transgressed against you this last week? The disciple thought for a while and admitted there were. Then he felt panic when he realized his empty sack was about to get filled up again. Master, he asked, if we continue like this, wouldn't there always be potatoes in the sack week after week? Yes, as long as people speak or act against you in some way, you will always have potatoes. But master, we can never control what others do. So what good is the Tao in this case? We're not at the realm of the Tao yet. Everything we have talked about so far is the conventional approach to forgiveness. It is the same thing that many philosophies and most religions preach. We must constantly strive to forgive, for it is an important virtue. This is not the Tao, because there's no striving in the Tao. Then what is the Tao, master? You can figure it out. If the potatoes are negative feelings, then what is the sack? The sack is that which allows me to hold on to the negativity. It is something within us that makes us dwell on feeling offended. Ah, it is my inflated sense of self-importance. And what will happen when you let go of it? Then the things that people do or say against me no longer seem like such a major issue. In that case, you won't have any names to inscribe on potatoes. That means no more weight to carry around and no more bad smells. The Tao of forgiveness is the conscious decision not just to remove some potatoes, but to relinquish the entire sack. Taking a deep inhale from the lower dantian, bringing it up to the middle dantian and up to the crown. Opening our arms and gathering one last big inhale of chi and bringing it down through the central channel, gathering it into our center. And we open our eyes softly with an expansive gaze. And we're going to come into a closing. Closing looks like this. And all at the same time, just come up with the word that's come up with you through this practice and share it out. Inhaling. Freedom. Love. Integrity. Perseverance. Honesty. Vulnerability. I thank you for sharing my practice with me today. All in good chi. You got a power center ready for your day. I hope it's a beautiful one. Happy Friday. We'll see you all next week. Bye.
Thank you so much for that practice. That was beautiful. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Dana. That was so good. So beautiful. I love that practice. Really, really powerful. Whew. All right, put into the comments, sisters, what you're experiencing now. Go ahead.
Sorry, one thing I wanted to say, I showed everyone 2 moves on each side so I could show you the whole routine, but with the breaths, with the straw, aim for 10. And with the other moves, I try to do 3 or 4 to each side or 3 to 4 of each one and work your way up with strength and breath as time goes. So that's all I need to say. All right, thanks, sorry.
Thanks for joining, everybody. Thanks for that, Dana. It was so beautiful. Great teaching. Whew, loved it.